Hi, my name is Nathan, and I like to talk about a lot of movies on this channel. If you're new here, down below in the comment section, share what you thought of the film Never Let Go over on my channel. There's more content like this. Check those out once this video is over. If you enjoy this video, click the like button and be sure to subscribe because it really does help a lot, and I really do appreciate it. With that said, let's just get straight into the review with this film, and this is a film that I don't have a whole lot of passionate thoughts about, so I'm not gonna just going to be sort of like a one-take video. Probably just going to do this in one shot. So, when it comes to Never Let Go, essentially, the film's premise is it's seemingly a post-apocalyptic future at the end of the world, and there's this house in the middle of the woods that consists of a mother and her two sons, and they are trying to survive because there's this unknown evil on the outside that if they are ever detached from the house, but using this rope, every time they leave, they have to have a rope tied around their waist, and essentially, if they ever lose contact with the rope, they lose contact with the house. Thus, the evil can get them. So it's a movie about trying to survive the evil, and the first half of this movie essentially just sticks to that. Kind of boring, repetitive first half. Characters aren't all that interesting in the first half when you get kind of just following their boring, mundane life about them surviving, eventually running out of food, all that kind of stuff that happens in survival movies. But then you get to the middle of it, an event happens. Something happens. If I say what happens, it will spoil the movie. But something happens, and I thought it got a lot more interesting. So it's interesting because the first half is kind of just like boring, mundane, same cyclical stuff. And then the second half, it kind of grabbed my attention a lot more because this event happened and it impacts the rest of the film. And even in the first half, I would say you get some solid performances. Of course, you get Halle Berry in our mother maternal figure role, and after watching this movie, what I found super interesting about it, on the car ride home, me and my dad and my brother were discussing the film, and it's kind of like, I didn't notice this while watching it, but as we were discussing it, you start to realize more things previously about the film that makes it a lot more interesting than at face value, because essentially it is a movie about trying to survive, trying to escape this evil. But then we had a car ride home, and by the time you get to the end of the film, there are not multiple, but a couple different interpretations of what was actually going on in the film. And so, you can interpret it both ways, and there's evidence to back both of them up. So, I thought it was a lot more interesting after watching it on the car ride home as we were discussing it. And it made me realize that it was a lot more interesting than it was that I watched it. And I might have given it a more positive review having had that discussion. By the end of it, though, overall, it just left too many things ambiguous for me to really care at the same time. Like, why didn't you just explain it? Like, it ends kind of the same way that movies like Inception end. When there are some interpretations of what could be going on, what was the ending of Inception, it ends kind of that same way. Where there are a couple different interpretations of what could be. Even Halle Berry has said in like an interview that's exactly what it meant to be doing. I don't want to get into spoilers. So this is a movie that it's really tough to explain while not getting into spoilers. And so, in general, just a kind of starts off as a standard cyclical horror film, gets a little bit more interesting, leaves things a little bit ambiguous. So a very mixed bag of emotions all throughout, coming from all sorts of different directions. I'm not sure that I would ever choose to rewatch this film. My personal taste, I don't know about I would, but I'm glad I did see it. And this just happens to be one of the two films that I saw on my birthday. It came out September 20th. September 20th was the day I turned 15, and this was the first of the two that I watched. And so, overall, I'm gonna give it a C+. But those are just my thoughts on Never Let Go. Maybe you guys found it a lot more interesting than I did. Down below in the comment section, share what you thought of it over on my channel. I have more content like this. Check those out right now. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next one.